Ooh, Chile. I am about to be problematic. Not intentionally though, I just know the girls like to tussle. Oh, speaking of ruffling feathers, let's do this one too. That's just my unpopular opinion though. 'Cause I ain't leaving alone. Feel like I could be honest, babe. We both know that we're grown. That's why I wanna know how many drinks would it take you to be with me? Yeah, you look good and I got money, but I don't wanna waste my. Hi, welcome to my bubble where we do a little bit of adulting, a little bit of healing, and a little bit of creating. If you want, you can put this under the adulting category. But I'm gonna I started to say let's start the year off with unpopular opinions, but we're going into the last week of January, so let's start off Q1 of 2023 with some unpopular opinions, and not just I started to say important unpopular opinions, but they're important to me, I guess. But whatever. Maybe they're important to you too if you're here. But let's get right into it because I got a couple, and I talk a lot, and I got some things to say. So let's start here. Number one, let's have this conversation. / we need to have this conversation more. / we just need to have this conversation in depth. Okay? Love is not enough. One more time. Love is not enough. It's just not enough. Now, coming from a hopeless romantic and just an R&B girly and just a Cancer Venus, coming from a hopeless romantic, I'm telling you, love is not enough. And I've spent a lot of my life wrapped up in the concept of unconditional love and wanting unconditional love. But let's be 100% honest and let's put it out there. Love is not unconditional. Love is very much conditional. I can have love for you, but if you're out here murdering people, I can't interact with you. I can love you with my whole heart, but if you are not respecting my boundaries, if you are not feeding into me the way I need you to feed into me, you don't need to be in my life. You don't need to be in my bubble. Because me simply loving you and having love for you is not enough. Love is very much conditional, and people don't like to admit that. Love is the foundation that everything else needs to be built off of. Love is not the whipped cream and cherry that goes on top. I can love you, but there needs to be reciprocity. There needs to be balance in our relationship. I can love you, but if you do not pour into my cup, love is just not enough. Love is not enough. We can start with love, but on top of that, there needs to be communication. And with communication, there needs to be comprehension, okay? I can talk at you, well, not at you, but I can talk to you all day, or I can talk to you till I'm blue in the face. But if you're not understanding what I'm saying to you, what am I talking to you for? We can start with love, but there needs to be the 3 C's. There needs to be communication. There needs to be comprehension. And then after those 2 things, there needs to be consideration. Because again, even if I'm talking to you and I communicate why XYZ that you did makes me upset, and you hear me and you understand that you doing XYZ makes me feel ABC, but if moving forward you do not have consideration for that, and you continue to do the same things or anything that's really just not having consideration, again, what are we doing this for? You will, if you've been in my bubble or if you know me personally, you very much hear me say your words and your actions need to match. I don't care. You can be in my ear saying blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm going to change. Oh, it's not like that. And da, da, da. But you're constantly doing things that disrespect my boundaries. You're constantly doing things that I don't want you to do. You're constantly with the girl you say that you can't stand all the time. It's giving hypocrite. It's giving your word doesn't mean anything. And if me having love for you does not change that your word does not mean anything. And to me, words mean everything. Okay? So if you can't even keep your word, me having love for you means nothing. I can love you from a distance. That's not even really an unpopular opinion. It's more so just a conversation that we don't have enough. Love is not enough. Okay? Love is the foundation, not the cherry on top. Now, I feel like this is an unpopular opinion, but I very much stand on this. I am justified in correcting you if you're not speaking properly. I'm justified in correcting you if you're not using words properly. I'm justified in correcting you if you're not pronouncing something properly. And I'm not talking about like if English or whatever is your second language, or if it's just if it's like a super intellectual word that you read and know what it means, but have not heard it pronounced correctly. That's not what I'm talking about. That's an opportunity to learn and adjust. I'm talking about, it's like release, and specifically to my black folk, it's like, please release, break the shackles of the hood. Now, don't get me wrong. I love hood culture. I love being a part of it. I fully plan. Y'all need to be in my business? Yes, I fully plan to, when the money is in my hand, you will know, because I'm going to get the hood jumping in the best way. But people like to make it seem like just because someone is intellectual and or knows how to not even enunciate, but like knows how to articulate themselves correctly, that like you're adopting to whiteness, or like you're trying to be amongst the white people. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Actually, scratch that. Go back. Why is it a problem? Really, why is it a problem that I know how to work my way through a corporate room? Like, I be in corporate rooms having them folks shook, because not only am I a black woman, but I know what I'm talking about, and I know why my opinions are my opinions. Like, shaking the table, crazy. So it's like, yes, people love to be like, well, I didn't go to a fancy college, I don't know, da 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 da. But like, okay, so you have the internet, don't you? You spend 95% of your day on the internet, don't you? Be productive, learn something, learn how to properly express what you're trying to say. You don't need to be in it. Like, if you're in a room and you're saying like and 15,000 times, or you're using ebonics for your whole conversation, or trying to make your whole point, people are going to stop listening to you. Because they don't know what you're saying, or two, just because they don't like how you're going about saying it. And already you've lost. So again, just jumping off of what I was just saying, I can communicate to you all day, but if you're not comprehending what I'm saying to you, then I'm wasting my breath. So it's like, you could be trying to make a whole point of, oh, I need this loan for da-da-da-da-da-da, but it's like, my baby daddy said da-da-da-da, and he said he running up on Pookie, and it's like, Pina came and da-da-da-da. It's like, ma'am, I'm trying to get my life together. There are certain scenarios that I am currently in that I do not enjoy and would prefer not to be a part of. So I very much need this loan so that I can start my business. I'm going to put it towards da-da-da-da. Properly communicate what you're trying to say. Properly articulate yourself. And if you are not doing that correctly, or even if we're just mid-conversation and you're like, what's like, to my New Yorkers or to my Queens folk, he'll be like, I'm getting off at Roosevelt Ave. Like, no, babe, you're getting off at Roosevelt. And me and people have gone back and forth about this all the time. They be like, but double O is ooh. Like, yes, that is very true. Yes, that's how the English language works. But I'm almost positive that the station is named after the president. And the president's name was Roosevelt, not Roosevelt. So it's like, I'm justified in correcting you if you are not pronouncing something correctly, or if you're just not speaking properly. The whole, like, that sandwich is mine's. Why did you eat that? I don't know. Like, if I come up with ones when I'm editing, I'll put them on the screen. But I'm justified in correcting you, because speak properly. And not even properly to, like, the white standard, but properly so I know what the fuck you're saying to me. Like, speak properly. And if you're not, I'm going to correct you because I'm trying to comprehend what you're saying to me. Simple. That one might ruffle a few feathers. Oh, speaking of ruffling feathers, let's do this one too. Because this was I didn't watch any of the videos when this was a trend, but I got something to say about this too. There is a difference between taste testing / giving your opinions on foods and being disrespectful of cultures. There is a very big difference. Prime example, the whole YouTube trend / agenda of when everyone was trying fufu and igusi. Now, don't get me wrong, ever since I saw Fat Girls way back when, I have been fiending to try it. But when it was a thing on YouTube and everybody was trying it, I didn't watch any of the videos, not even of the people that I subscribe to. I didn't watch any of them. So then to see on the internet everybody being like, oh, it tastes like dog food, it tastes like da-da-da-da, like a simple, I don't like how that tastes, will suffice. Like you're being disrespectful to these cultures because it's like you went into it expecting what? You expected it to taste like American food? Like, already that's ignorance right there. Argue with your mother. That's what I assume, because again, I didn't watch it. I assume that's why, what's his name? Choice got dragged by who was it? By the Trinidadians? Because I don't even know what he said, but because there's a difference between giving your opinion, translation, I don't like that. It's too spicy for me. I don't like that flavor. It's too potent for me, for my taste, versus this is trash. This needs more flavor. Why would they eat this? This is disgusting. Like, your taste buds are just not accustomed to that. Your taste buds, the flavors that you like, just don't resonate with the food that you just ate. Simple. Same way you can go to an American restaurant, you order something off the menu, you taste it, you don't like it, you tell the waiter you didn't like it, and you get something else. Why does it have to, you're not going to say to the waiter, this tastes like dog food, like get this shit away from me, and then throw it on the floor. So why, and that's just in a restaurant, so why, if you are going into a scenario, tasting an African food, tasting a Trinidadian food, a food that you know is amongst certain cultures, you're going in, tasting it, and if you don't like it, it tastes like dog food. It tastes like trash. It tastes like, that's not giving your opinion / taste testing it. That's being disrespectful of that culture. Because again, you went into it thinking what? That it was going to taste like American food? You played yourself because you went into it knowing that it's not an American food. So you're not taste testing it. You are eating it and then being disrespectful. Now me, I, as a world traveler and as someone who is very, very picky and would only eat a certain amount of things for a majority of my life, every time I go to Greece or Aruba or Jamaica, which that's not a good example, but like it is, or Belize, I try their foods. If I don't like it, I don't like it. If I like it, I like it. Now I have something new. I went to Greece and found out I love moussaka. It's like, I haven't had it since I've been back here because like I'm sure it won't be like it was in Greece. And yes, there were some things that I had in Greece that I did not like. And I did what? Sometimes I swallowed it. Sometimes I didn't. I put it back on the plate. But that was it. I moved on. Like, I was out and somebody be like, did you like it? Or what happened with that? And it's just like, I don't like that. Simple. Because that will suffice. That is an opinion. I don't like it. Simple. Without being disrespectful of the culture or the people that eat it or blah, 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 blah. Because in general, I think that's wild disrespectful. Even with American food, like, to look at somebody's plate and be like, ew, you eat that? Like, that's so disrespectful. Pipe down, love. Like, just ew. Who raised y'all? And or, because I know some of the people, because like even some of the people that I watch said certain comments like that, because I saw the clips on like Twitter and things. And it's like, one, it's not even a race thing, because I know that they're raised better than that. It's really just a like, you didn't articulate that well. Not to keep saying that, but there was a better way to handle it. Whatever. Because it's like, there are people who regularly and authentically eat and enjoy fufu and igusi. There are people who regularly eat and enjoy roti and curry and blah 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 in their cultures. And it's like, you didn't go into it trying to experience that culture. You went into it following a trend because you saw all the YouTubers tasting it, so you wanted to taste it. Like, you're part of the problem. That's just my unpopular opinion, though. So that was what, 3? Love is not enough. I'm justified in correcting you. Disrespecting cultures. Yeah. So we halfway through. Let's just, because if you ain't ready to fight me yet, you will be by the time I'm done. So this next one, let me say the opinion first. Ooh, this is the one that's going to ruffle some feathers. You can't be offended when people make light of and or what you consider disrespect God, right? To all my religious folk. Ooh, excuse me. You can't be offended when people make light of God and or disrespect God just to turn around and clown saging and clown crystal magic and clown the use of herbs. Like those, it's like, what? Now, this comes from when Pretty V was on the Know For Sure podcast. In full disclosure, now these are 3 women that I respect and I not keep track of, but like I subscribe to what they stand for and what they represent. I enjoy these women. Vina in that episode said they were going on, they were talking about God and blah 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 blah, right? And Vina gonna say, no no disrespect to the rockers, and I really felt some type of way about that. That really rubbed me the wrong way, because mind you, just before that, Megan is expressing the dark places that she's been to and the actions that she was prepared to take in those dark places. And then the conversation goes into, because I know God and I know and I can't just sit and rub 2 rocks together and now I'm healed. But no offense to the rockers. It's like, I get what you were trying to say, but that was not the way to say it. Because just because I meditate and sit with my citrine crystal and embrace the properties that it brings me, does not mean that that's less effective than when you sit and pray on your hands and knees while holding a rosary. Like, there's no difference. You're the tool that you use, the rosary, is different from the tool that I use, the crystals. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the enigma and the facade that spirituality has become, because of all the fake people trying to really claim spirituality but really not. But it's like, if you don't understand it, just say that, because crystals come from the earth the same way the diamonds that you purchase and where it come from the earth, assuming you don't buy lab created diamonds. Diamonds come from the earth, crystals come from the earth, herbs come from the earth. So why is it such a big deal? But that's just not, you can't, it's not redundant. It's almost hypocritical to be upset when people make light of God, or when people make jokes about God, or or do things that you consider to be disrespectful to the higher power that you serve, just to then be like, no offense to the rockers, and to be like, I'm not gonna burn a sage and move it around my house. There are many cultures that use saging. There are many cultures that practice with crystal magic, and there are many cultures that put herbs and mix with their oils and set intentions with all of those oils. So it's like, but that is how they practice and connect with what they consider to be the Most High. Again, that may be different from you flipping open a book and reading your Bible verses and reading your divination, or you being on your hands and knees every night holding a rosary as you talk to whoever you're talking to. But like me as a rocker, I would never see somebody praying with a rosary in their hand and be like, girl, if you don't take that necklace out your hand, like, go do something else, you know? Like, what that necklace gonna do for you? I would never say that, because I know what that rosary means to you, and I know the confidence that instills in you. I know your attachment to that. So just because I don't resonate with the title God and what that really stands for, I know what the Most High has done in my life. I know the feeling when I feel it. Just like they were talking about in the episode, like, I've been to churches where, full disclosure, I don't like church because I don't like feeling like people are talking at me. And I've been to a lot of church. That's what made me feel that way. I've been to churches where I feel like they're preaching at me. They're talking at me, not to me. But then I have been to some other churches where I really feel, and like the pastor is going, and like I feel what they're saying to me. I feel the music. I feel the passion in that. That, yes, I know the Most High when I feel it. So, but I've also been to some churches full of the hypocrisy and full of the like fuckery that goes on in the church. So again, just because I don't read devotions every day, or I don't sit with a rosary and pray, but I choose to sit and meditate and really have my time with the Most High and really use my tarot deck, because that is how I feel the Most High communicates with me. That, like, you don't get to clown those things just because it's different from how you connect with the Most High. Yes, I understand the whole you've been taught to believe tarot is evil and da 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 da. Like, just like the food and the opinions, like, we can just agree to disagree. You don't have to clown it. You don't have to agree with it. None of that. But you can acknowledge that other people use that for what they use it for. Because just like church people, some people are authentic and practice what they preach, and others are not. It's the same thing with this. That's literally what we're seeing happen with the spirituality. When you encounter people who really believe it and who practice it and who know it to their core, you're able to decipher those who just talk a big hype and just wear the necklaces just because they look pretty, or just wear an evil eye because they saw it on TikTok and think that it's going to save them from some shit. Like, I've been to Greece. I know what the evil eye stands for them, and the culture behind it, and da 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 da. Moral of the story, super unpopular opinion. You can't be offended when people make light of your God, and or people do disrespect what you consider disrespect. When people disrespect God, just to then in the same sentence, same breath, same day, clown saging and clown herb magic and clown crystal magic. Like, though, how do you even do those two same things? How do you even do those two things at the same time? Hypocrite isn't the right word, but like, it's giving hypocrite. Insert whatever the right word is. I know that one gonna ruffle some feathers. But I said what I said. Argue with your mama. Now here's another one. Unpopular opinion. I don't even know if this is unpopular either, but this is also a conversation that needs to be had. Black on black crime is not real. It's not real. And that's not to say that there are not black people harming other black people. That is to say that the black on black crime agenda that the white people are pushing and that the media pushes, like, that's not real. That's not a thing. You'll never hear about how the white heroin addicts is out here killing the white homeless people because they need their fix. You'll never hear all the white people, like, you never hear about the white people in the suburbs killing on each other. You don't hear about that. They don't push that agenda because that is detrimental to the society that they are trying to create. This also came, literally, I don't even want to get into all of that, get deep into it anyway. This came from the Don't Call Me White Girl episode with Amanda Seales. Just watch the whole thing and you'll get it. You'll understand. And like they said, like Mona said in that, like, the context is important, because again, it's not to say that there are not black people hurting other black people. We saw what happened with PNB Rock. We see what happens with King Von. Like, that's not to say that there's not violence happening, but the black on black crime agenda is not real. Like, the context, what is the context? What was happening? Not those, not, I don't know much about the King Von situation, so we're not even going to talk about that. But like PNB, that was literally a crime of opportunity. They were already present, looking for a way to come up, looking for a lick. It just so happened that PNB, someone that they know has a lot of money or has a lot of blah, 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 walked past them, so they hit that lick. But that is not the black on black crime agenda. Like, no, that's not real. And I'm just gonna say this so I can get up out of here, because I know I can hear the girls banging at the door, right? So this one also came from one of the Don't Call Me White Girl episodes, but I didn't even really know that this was a thing until that episode. But unpopular opinion / conversation that really needs to be had: being a fellow minority / person of color does not give you the right to say nigga. Not in the slightest. Not at all. Just because the white people treat you like trash, just like they treat us like trash, that doesn't mean you can say nigga. Because nigga isn't related to us being a minority. It's related to the injustice that we endured. It relates to the hard ER that was meant to be derogatory and was meant to make us feel less than, i.e. Hispanics being called or whatever a derogatory Asian term is. Like in the Don't Call Me White Girl episode, she said, she was talking about something, how somebody had said to her, or she saw somewhere that Asian people will be like, oh, well, I'm the nigga of my country, so I can say nigga. Like, no. Again, just because you are seen as less than in your country does not mean that you can reclaim the word in the way that we are trying to reclaim the word. Because again, nigga isn't attached to us being a minority. It is part of the reason we are a minority, but it's not attached to the two. It's a derogatory term that was used to make us feel less than. So you don't get to use that word just because your people consider you less than as well. Like, it just, that, like, you don't get that right just because. Even us black folk, we had to debate with the older black folk who actually had to hear the hard ER and who regularly got offended by that. We debated with them, saying that we're trying to reclaim the word, and they weren't trying to hear it. They don't care, like, because they felt the hurt that came with that word, that came with the hard ER. If your lineage did not experience that specifically with that word, you don't get to use that word. Simple. Just because white people treat you just as bad as they treat us, or white people see you as less than, same way they see us as less than, that's not my fault nor my problem. Take it up with them. You're not going to walk up to a white person and call them nigga. And even if you did, you shouldn't, because use a different word. Use a word that they called you. Use a derogatory white people term. Don't use our word. You being a fellow minority or a fellow person of color does not give you the right to say nigga. Argue with your mama. I don't care. Yeah. So those are my unpopular opinions. I'm always open to discuss. I'm not open to arguments. I'm open to discuss. Put in the comments whatever you want to put in the comments. If you agree, if you don't agree, discuss amongst yourselves. These are my unpopular opinions. I said what I said. Thou shalt not try me. Mood 24/7. If you made it to the end of the video and you don't know me, hi. My name's Naori. Stick around, you love it here. Duh. Embrace being a star. Subscribe. Follow my socials. I post twice a week. It is 2023, baby. We are coming with content constantly. Ooh, excuse me. I will see you in my next video. Bye. I'd rather be smoking